Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to remote learning. This is grade 3 social studies. We are starting 7th week of remote learning. Today is the first lesson. This is lesson number 16, A Life in a Village. I hope you are all fine and enjoying your vacations along with learning. This is the time to read and revise along with the learning of new chapters. So let's start with our lesson for today. This is page number 58 of your reading book. Open your reading books. Open page number 58. Before I start with the discussion, you people keep your skill books and stationery items with you so that you may do some written work once I finish the discussion. So here is chapter number 16 for you, A Life in a Village. I hope most of you have visited villages, but if you never have visited these areas, you can imagine that these are the places where the people live their life by growing crops, by growing fruits, vegetables, and other eatables. Most of the people are related with this profession. They do the work in the fields, they sow the crops, they look after the crops, they water the plants. Then, during the harvesting season, they usually cut the crops. Our country is a developing country. We are a developing nation. Our population is about 185 billion, and most of the people, they are still living in the villages. How can one count that how many people are living in the villages and how many are in cities? This is done through census. We have gone through what is census in our previous lessons. Census is the population count, and this is conducted after every 10 years. So government checks the number of people after every 10 years so that it may help the people and plan for their futures. So I told you earlier that most of the people who are living in the villages, they are related with the profession of agriculture. They grow the crops and watering is done through the river water. Where there is no availability of rivers, then the crops are watered by canals and tube wells. So villagers are very hard workers. They usually work in the field during even hot summer days. Moreover, there are the other profession which can be adopted by the villagers. This is page number 59 of your reading book. You can see some people are doing some other works over here. For example, some villagers, they may do some other work with wood or metal. So they are blacksmiths, the carpenters which do the work with the wood, the potters who make the pottery. Then some become cobblers and they make the shoes. Some become the house builders, they build the houses and mend the plows and carts. Women usually make the handicrafts like baskets, ornaments, beautiful shawls, carpets, and traditional embroidery is also done over here. So in most of the villages, there is a small mosque, a school, and post office, and some other shops. So let's start with the reading of this chapter. This is page number 58. Now let's start with the reading. The population of Pakistan is over 185 million. Out of 100 people in the Pakistan, 62 live in the villages and 38 live in the cities and towns. So out of 100, about 62 people are living in villages and remaining 38 are living in cities and smaller towns. To know how many people there are in a country, the government carries out the census about every 10 years. That is what I told you. Population count is called as census. There is counting exercise that tell us how many people there are in what are their age groups and what work they do, etc. This helps the government to plan for their future. So government can plan only for the future of its people if it is working for the population count and calculating the number of young and old people and children as well. So let's start with the next paragraph, a village in Pakistan. Have you ever visited any village? Do you know what the life is like there? Life in a village is simple and quiet. It is very different from the life in city. There are not so many people in a village. There are hardly any traffic. So very simple life. You can see from this picture. There are a few fields where the cattle are grazing and the tractor is used for the plowing within the field. Here the people are working in the field. They are sowing the crops and children are also working there. They are helping the elders in their work. So this is the simplicity of the village life which could be seen in both of the pictures. Now cereals, crops and vegetables are grown around the villages. There are orchards where fruit are grown. So along with the crops, vegetables and fruits are also grown, but the crops are grown in fields and the fruits are grown in the orchards. Water comes from river and canals and tube wells. Most of the villagers are farmer and work in the fields. Yes, the most important professions which are adopted by the villagers, that is they work in the field, and the women, all the women work, and even the children. Some people may find job in a factory nearby. So this is another way that if they don't want to work or earn some other way, they can do anything in the nearby factories or mills. Then some of the villagers have the skill to make the things of wood or metal. So I told you they are working, the people who are working with metals, they are blacksmiths, and the working with wood, they are called as carpenters. Potters are those people who make the pottery, and cobblers are those who are mending the shoes or making the shoes. And builders, they build the houses and mend the plows and carts. And some people also do some other works, and especially the women, they make ornaments, baskets, beautiful shawls and carpet, etc. And you can see from this picture, they are the craftsmen. They are doing their craft work, and embroidery is also very important craft. And look at this picture. This is a village school. Children are even sitting on the floor and they are studying while sitting on the floor. So you can well imagine how the situation is different from you people within the villages. They have to live in the simple life, and they have to learn also while studying in the school which are open in grounds and without any accommodation facilities like table or chair. So this is all for today. Let's start with our written work for today. This is page number 41 of your skill book. Open your skill book. Don't forget to write down the date at the top of your page. So here are few words and their meanings. So let's start with the first one. Census. I told you this is counting population. Then carpenter, a man who makes a wooden objects. Then plow, turn up the earth with the plow. Cereals, the grains. The orchard, the enclosed food garden. I told you the fruits are grown in the smaller gardens which are called as orchards. Now the potters, ones which make the pottery, the embroiderer, one who does the embroidery, the blacksmith who makes the iron things. So that is all for today, boys and girls. Do your work, read the chapter and submit it timely in the Google Classroom. See you soon inshallah. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.